So my hair is still a mess. I need to get it washed, but that is beyond it. And I just want to hurry and rush these videos out. So I am gonna be wearing the same shirt for the next 2 or 3 videos, besides the last one. And for me to definitely the each one. I mean, I'm going to change my earrings, but this is June vlog, yay! So what happened? What was going down in June? Okay, so around the second time of June, I started working on the Maddie and Caspian story. So I started working on that one. I started doing the thumbnails, and I was giving myself 10 minutes each to work on the thumbnails. So I sort of the process of several days, I've been working on the story to the conclusion. And although I don't plan to make this in a graphic novel, whenever I'm working on a story, regardless of how the end product gonna come out, novel, illustrated book. What was the other one? Graphic novel. I can't believe I forgot that. I'm it doesn't matter which media or format I plan to. Yeah, there you go. It doesn't matter which format I plan to print out the final product. I thought I heard something like my door opened because sometimes my cat opened my door, and then okay, yeah, he's coming in. Hi, Mister. Show him. Yeah. Wanna go up there? You can go up. Now I can hear what's going on outside even more, but please ignore that. And yes, he did get all my bed. Okay. So, and also around this time is when my laptop was starting to give me problems. Now, before it started shutting off, it will go off, but I was able to turn it back on during that time. But what the main issue is when I was trying to restream record, and I couldn't figure out why. Like, it will always come out blank. And no matter what I do, whether Netflix, and YouTube, whatever, and then I figure out why through watching videos, how to screen record, and I was like, yeah, I finally got that, so I was able to finally do that. And then on top of that, I was at this moment I went to Chat GPT to ask for like to help me come with monthly plans for budgeting, which worked for a while, and I stopped using it. And then I also for workouts, which that works shorter than the budget one, and then for studying that worked a little bit longer than the budget around the same time. I stopped using both of them at the same time, but I did use it for a while and it was helpful. I just breaking down being disciplined. I'm still disciplined with my budget. I'm not disciplined with workout and studying, but that will come out later probably. At this point, I also finally found the book for the sequel to Maddie Gray, the sequel of Maddie Gray, because each book of that series is something else. Like they all technically fall under Drew Collins University or something like that, but they each have a new title, so it was very hard to find at first. But I finally found the author on Granger and her sequel books. About the ebook, I didn't buy the audiobook version. I bought the ebook version because audiobook was like so out of my budget. So it's also around summer that I decided to start trying the little yarn braids. And so I wanted to put yarn in my hair, like box braids, and try it out. But first I had to like buy the yarn. And thank God Michael's the closest one opened around 9 a.m. Perfect timing. So I was able to wake up early, go there, get there by like 8:59. As I said, perfect timing. It took a while to find the yarn though because the yarn was on the upstairs and I was like going around and around and around. I just couldn't find it by also wallpaper while I was there. And so and then I was able to find the yarn and I bought like 3 different colors. I was looking for a dark color, but the darkest I found was the purple, maybe because it was summer, so it was very hard to find it like, but that wasn't black, a dark color. I was like looking for like dark purple, a dark brown, but couldn't find those. Maybe now in this winter I should go, but I don't like traveling during winter. So that being said, and then I washed my hair and I tried to put it in. I tried to do it without tutorial. The only thing I had going for me that to help guide me was an article because that's where I found the box braids, the ability like how to do box braids and stuff, like what kind of yarn to buy. That's why I read it in, and I was like, all right, cool. Let me try it using just a tutorial that they gave, and no, it did not work. I ended up trying to doing twists, and it was just terrible, awful. I had to like do over. I didn't do it over, by the way. Instead, because it was in the back, I just like hit it over the other ones that it did better. I ended up had to go look at 2 video tutorials, one by Be Jolly and the other one by Frokyo. They had 2 different methods, and one of them was too difficult because I don't know, my hair was too silky or something because of the products and stuff, but it was like hard, it wasn't staying, and that was, I think, was the Jolly's method. And so then went with Frocio method, where you braid it, tie the yarn, and then continue braiding it together. Like you take your hair, tie it to your hair, and braid. That one was easier to do, so I decided to go with that method for now. But I do want to go with the knotless method because especially like if I got the bit I put too much products, but again, if I do knotless and I put too much product, it will still have a lot of buildup. So anyway, and after watching tutorials, and thing is also about my hair, because it's silky, it slides off. Even though I tied a knot, the knot will like, I'll tie a knot here and then it will go like here, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And so you have this like loose thread, and then you have the braid starting like it's starting here, and you have a big chunk here and a loose end right here. So it wasn't great the first time around, but this is my first time, so I'm giving myself a pass. And so at this point, I also did a little rant because I was so mad. With the train, I got so angry and frustrated with the train. I started ranting outside about the train, because if I leave early, at 4:50, or leave late around like 5:18, there's always like 18-minute wait for the train. So no matter how early I leave, there's gonna be an 18-minute wait. So I was like, no, what, just leave early and hopefully get on time for work and start work at a decent time and finish at a decent time. But it was like so frustrating at that time. Only thing was the summer, like here during the winter right now is like terrible. But I digress. And then during that time also, I spent the whole, because I was doing my hair, I spent the whole weekend doing my hair. I didn't do nothing else, so I didn't get any projects done. And then I showed my sister, well, I didn't show, but they saw the work. And she suggested like next time use edge control or use gel and blow dry. It'll help make it smoother and easier, like better for braiding, so it'll be smoother and less like frizz at the end, because you do see the frizz. But I decided like when I do the next time, I did use like the gel, hair gel. Oh, I use her hair gel because she has a large amounts. But yeah, I don't do the blow drying though. So my notes are very confusing. I have no idea what I'm reading, but I'm assuming what I was talking about was, in this case, was that I was looking or researching IB, IBN, I forgot, IBDM or something like that, numbers for like books and stuff. I was doing research for that, and I was getting like nervous and frightening. I was like having anxiety, but I don't know what anxiety was about. My notes wasn't very clear. On top of that, I partly also, I didn't get a lot of work done during this time. It was like the third week of June, and not a lot of work was being done, and I knew I needed to write more. It was just raining a lot, and I wasn't taking advantage of that. I also wanted to get people to read and edit my work, just to get their opinion. I still haven't, during this time, I didn't have that. I didn't have any critique partners, or wasn't in groups. I no longer was doing the like online group, so yeah. I was just smiling at what my mother was talking about. She's very happy and proud of herself, and I'm proud of her too. But I was also like behind in video editing, so I wasn't behind back then, but was getting now. As usual, it just builds up and it builds up. I forgot to mention this in the beginning of June too, because we missed her birthday. Last time we went to a restaurant to celebrate her birthday. I'm missing a restaurant of her choice, and it was fine and lovely. And we also invited, I believe, Shaq, and so we had a nice time. And I'm so happy she liked it and enjoyed herself. Okay, so this is nothing like special between work, but a little warning, just in case, because I was drinking, my sister bought Rita, and I didn't know what Rita is. This is my first time trying it, and I knew they had alcohol, but the percentage was so low, so I didn't think much of it. But I didn't eat it, so I was drinking this around my last hour of work, and thank God, because when I got up, I didn't realize how tipsy I was until I got up, and I was like, oh no. But thank God, again, it was like around the end of my work, so I was fine, and like I was gonna mess anyone up. And on top of, and then the following, when I'm going back to editing videos, I didn't get to finish editing the videos, and that's because I ran out of room and I misplaced my external drive. I eventually did find it, so I did eventually get to finish editing. Well, not that day. And then I was like, okay, you know what? Just put it aside. I'll draw, take a shower, read a book, go to bed. I barely get to even get to draw that day too, so So I did a lot of things in June and then dropped things, a lot of things in June too, after in June or July. But one of the things I did was I decided to go for the Maddie and Caspian story. I decided to go walk around because it's going to be a contemporary fantasy, so it's going to take place in our world. But I need a location, like where would it take place? So I take a few pictures and snap pictures. And while I was there, I also went to Barnes and Nobles, and I didn't realize, but they were having a like 40% off sale. I didn't buy any books, but they was having a 40% off sale, and I was like, oh wow, and that's because they're redoing the whole story. So okay. And it's around this time is also decided to come with a ranking system for books on the toilet. It was or the day after, and I was like on the toilet, using like marriage theme or relationship theme. But I was like, I don't know if I actually used it or stuck with it. No, I didn't. But moving on. So I also wrote in my notes something that happened at work. But I want to skip that and go straight to about these apps that I keep seeing on social media, especially specifically on Instagram. They show these apps like these short reels, like of these like movies, kind of like short reel movies, and they also show like short reels of stories that I'm like, okay, this is actually kind of interesting. I do want to know what happened in the end. Um, and I was like, but I don't want to sign up. I do not want to pay for these apps. I just want to finish the story though. So I was a conundrum, but I also was very curious about how these stories get made, how they get paid, especially since I see very rarely any black actors. So that was what killed me, and um, like or main leads, black main leads. So that's like that just like lower my interest in these stories as I went on. So it's like only one story I was really interested in, and I finished that. And once I finished that one, I was done with the app. So yeah, I was fine deleting it. But yeah, so unfortunately, that's that. Oh, I don't think I deleted it. I think I still have it. I just don't care to go back on it. I should say. So yeah, there is that. I did try to finish the other ones that I started, but I was like, again, I just don't care that deeply about it. And so when I did eventually bought the app for the reading to finish the stories, and I made notes about it, what I like, what I hate, and then I tried to delete it in time, but one process went already paid. And it's like, fine, I'll keep that one, but delete the other ones, like delete the rest of the app. But it was very frustrating because they keep changing the pay number or the IP, whatever you want to call it. I don't remember what it's called. But there's a part of it that they changed, a slight change, so they could keep slipping money out of it. And it was also through PayPal, so I also had to cut them off through PayPal. So make sure, just in case, I cut them off through my card, and that was my fault. I should also cut them off on PayPal. I forgot because it was coming off of my card, and that's where I saw the payments coming off. I forgot that it was going also through PayPal. So, but I was able to get them cut off and the money back for the last 2 weeks, because I'm like, no, this I cut them off earlier, but it keep charging me and it keep taking money off every week, and it's like that was frustrating. So never again. Oh, keep another side. Also, going back on the app thing, I was another app that I wanted to check out that had a story that I was interested in, but after like having problem with the other app, I was like, no, never mind, never again. As much as I'm interested in the story, I don't want to bother buying it. I'll tell the story I was reading. I don't mind, but I'm not going to go through that hellhole again. So it's not worth it. I am interested in writing for the app. I want to know how to get that done because, by the way, I should say the one for writing for the reels, it fell through and it getting response, unfortunately. But that's fine. And then, and then I was editing the. I don't know what day this is, but I finished writing all my entries, and then I was editing my videos, and this was also the day of voting, so I had to pause vote editing and like doing voice recording, and then went to vote and I came back and continued doing voice recording. After running and editing, I kicked myself in the butt because I forgot to add the intro music. It was a small thing, but it was a big thing. So it was like there was a part of silence in that video. If you go watch, I think it was a vlog. So there's that. And then it was when I was voting, I thought I was like voting for like just regular candidates, but I didn't realize that all the candidates were actually Democrats, so there was no like Republican. So I think because I'm in the Democratic area, I only get to vote for Democrats for the and this was like the primary. So I should be more aware of what I'm voting for and whom I'm voting for. But yeah, but this time that was it. And I do not know what I was writing, but it's at this point that I signed up for Skillshare because I wanted to put a book together. I wanted to learn bookbinding, and I was trying to do the free trial, but I didn't get it done in time. I did order the stuff. I still haven't done the bookbinding, so I need to get that done before this year June. So since I did the year's release subscription, I was like, well, I might as well look at other videos. Eventually, spoilers for later in the future. One of them did work. I actually ended up using it, but I think I should also want to use, take advantage and start using this more. But that's for this year's Gabby talk about. But that I digress. For last June, I barely used it. I did look at other videos I would be interested in since I had it, and I just put it as saved and I'll watch it later. So yeah. So that's all for the recording of June. So now I have to record July. And yes, you will still see me in this kind of outfit, in this setting. Well, you're always going to see me in the setting, but you're going to see me in the same outfit. But I do want to switch up. Shit, did I record a new one? My earrings.